welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Karina. Thanks for joining me today. And for today's video, I'll be recreating this makeup look for you guys, which is actually my first time putting together all these colors, and I really like how it turned out. So if you want to see how I made this happen, stick around and let's get started. Okay, here we are with a blank canvas. Basically, I have no makeup on. This is real life. This is what your girl looks like without any makeup. So the first step for this look is to prime our eyes. This is not necessary. I just feel that, especially if you're having this makeup look for all-nighter, it's going to help keep or maintain that eyeshadow image and not smudge or move around. So for that, what we'll need is to prime our eyes. You can basically take any type of concealer. I'm using my under eye concealer, which is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish. There are some primers for your eyes. You could buy the if you want. That works great, but I feel like this does the same job. After I put a little bit on my eyelid, then I'm gonna set it with some setting powder. The setting powder that I'm using right now is the Tatcha, the Silk Powder. So I add this, then pat in some of that powder, and then we're ready to get started with that makeup look. Now that we have our eyes primed, we're going to take some tape. Yes, some tape. So you could use some scrapbook tape, washi tape as they call them, masking tape if you want, or you could use the proper makeup tape. Usually I use the washi tapes. They do the same job because they're not tacky and they're also not so expensive. But this one, I found it. It's for actual makeup and it was actually not very expensive. So that's what we're using today. So I use it personally to help me keep a sharp makeup look. You can do this without even using tape because then you can take a wipey and clean off any excess that you don't want of makeup or just make that edge. But I feel like I do double the work and just do it from the beginning. So I'll just put the tape at the outer corner to where I want it. Basically, if I want it to come low, you'll go low. I want it a little bit like in between. So just try your best to keep them the same, obviously, because it'll be a sharp line, so you want both of them to look as close as they can to each other. So this is what it should look like. And now the fun part. We are going to get started with the actual makeup look. So for this makeup look, I'll be using one eyeshadow palette. And before I show it, please don't judge it. Oh, and by the way, yes, I know, I'm aware I don't have two nails. Just ignore that throughout the video because I know a lot of people make a big deal about like, oh my god. Well, your girl lost her nails, so it's okay. So this is the palette that I'm using. It's the Jaclyn Hill, the palette by Morphe. I said don't judge it either because it looks dirty. Trust me, she's clean in a sense that I wiped her down and it's just the color. I mean, it didn't help that it's white and it's hard. That's one of the hardest things I think that drives me nuts sometimes is trying to keep my makeup palettes clean. It's just hard, especially when the outside or the inside are light colors and they have it's hard to keep just the eyeshadow. Look how it looks. There's just no way. I've tried to clean it. I just made it worse. So this is real life. This is how the eyeshadow palette looks like. But for today's look, I'm going with some brown orangey look as you saw, and I'll probably be using this color, this two, and this one, and possibly this one. So I know it's a lot. That's another thing. I need to learn how to narrow down my colors, but I feel like blending them in and working them together, then it creates magic. So that's what we're doing. I don't have the names of the actual colors, but I'll point to them if you do have this palette so that you can try to recreate this if you want to. So let's get started. We're going to use my actual bronzer for a base color. I know that I said that I was only using those eyeshadows or that palette, but my base color is actually going to be my bronzer. And the bronzer that I'm using right now is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze. And it looks like this. So yes, you could use your actual bronzer as a eyeshadow. And then I'll use a fluffy brush for this one. And yes, it looks dirty because it is dirty. I used it earlier to record this video or this look. But a tip that I want to give you, if you didn't know, you could actually buy swap pads. That's what they're called, I believe. And basically this little thing or this tint helps you switch makeup shades between makeup looks. So let's say I want to use this brush and then I want to use another color that's brighter or lighter, vice versa. You just go like this, and it takes all the excess powder or makeup eyeshadow I mean, and then there you go. It's clean. Obviously it doesn't clean them, sanitize them, but and then this you can take it out and wash it every time you use it. So this comes in handy when you only have one brush. We're using different brushes, but if you're starting and you only have one brush, you can switch between colors. So I'm gonna take my bronzer, just dip it in there, and I'm going to grab my brush from all the way up here. As a tip, you don't want to grab your eyeshadow brushes close to the bristles. Why? Because the closer you are, the more pressure you're adding to your color, and then it's harder to blend those lines from your shadow. And that's why sometimes people struggle, because you have that like sharp line of eyeshadow and you're like, but I can't blend it out. It's because the way that you apply that powder or that eyeshadow. So for this one, we're going to go all the way to the back. At least I'm no makeup artist by any means. I don't even know if this is correct, but to me, I've noticed that this is what helps me. This just makes sense to me. I've known that it works for me. Holding my brush like this helps me blend my colors and not be so heavy. Having it like this, I'm putting so much pressure that it's harder to blend those colors. So do what works for you, but this is what works for me. So we're gonna start just blending that color like this in circular motions. It does not have to be perfect at all because we're adding all those colors. It's just your base color, so don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now what I like about this bronzer is that you can build it up. I don't think you can really tell within the camera, but um, it's not that bright or anything. It's not that heavy, and I like it. So again, this is just my base color. I'm putting it all over my lid, going from the edge, bringing it in circular motions, and then we'll do the same for the other eye. Our base shadow is done. So now I'm going to take a different brush. I'm using the Just Swap 221. It looks like this, and this is how it looks. I'll be using two colors from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm using like this kind of like mustardy color, and then this color. So I'll take some of this, and then a little bit of that, just a little, and then do that to take any excess of that heavy powder off. So we're gonna do this exactly same thing that we did with that base color. And you're probably wondering, why is she doing that? Isn't she putting over that color? Just gonna wipe away any of that other that she did, or at least cover it. But trust me, that base color makes a big difference, because at the end I'm gonna bring it all together. So it's necessary for this look. So just do the same thing, circular motions, bring it all the way in, and then do the same for the other eye. And then after I'm done putting that eyeshadow, those two eyeshadows, I'm going to build up the second color. So not the mustardy color, the more like orangey color. We're going to add more of it because I want that color to stand out, because that's the actual undertones that my shirt has that we're wearing. So this color, now I'm going to pick up more of that without any of that and do the same thing again. So just circular motions, and you want to be careful with not bringing your color all the way up here, okay? Just circular motions, and that's about it. This is what you should be left with after adding that orangey look and building that color as strong as you wanted. This is what I liked. So we're going to move on to the next two colors, and I'll be using this color and then this color. And for the brush that I'm using is it just says eye crease brush. I don't know the brand, but I think I bought this once at Amazon. But as you can see, it's still fluffy, but it's the bristles are shorter, and this is just gonna help me with how strong I want that color to be. And also I'll bring in my hand a little bit lower, not all the way to the front, but here, because we want those brown colors to stand out. So I'll dip my brush in here and then add some of this darker brown again. Go like this, and then what you're gonna do is the same thing, but you're gonna start bringing it down a little bit towards your lid here, the bottom. Does that even make sense? Here. So you're going to go here, and then as you can see, I'm bringing it down more. And for this one, you don't necessarily have to do circular motions, because um, you just want to swipe back and forth, swipe back and forth. You can see. So build that color up. I'm going to add a little more. And then you'll do the same for the other eye. You can add as much as you want. And the cool part about this is that even if it kind of looks messy. I don't know if you can see, but it kind of looks messy, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to add another shade on top of that. So you should be good. Don't worry. You just want to bring this color down. So you're not going up like the other colors. You're going more down. So swipe back and forth, back and forth. For the next color that we'll be using, that's what's going to go right here in the inner lid and cover the rest of those areas that look light. So I'm using a flat brush. I actually recommend for you to use a shorter one, but I couldn't find the bristles with the shorter bristles that is a flat brush, but it's a flat brush. And then I'm going to take this brown that we already used a little bit of, but just a tiny bit, and then mix it with this one over here, the darker brown. And then we're just going to lightly, and I'm going to bring this closer now, tap it in to the rest of my eyelid. See? So that's all I'm doing. And if I were to do it like this, I'm not putting too much pressure, and it makes a big difference now that I'm holding it like this, because I want to be precise and heavy with my hand. So just tap it in. Now that I reached my desired shade of brown, I'm going to take the first brush that I use with my bronzer, and I'm going to dip it again on my bronzer. You should still have some powder left in there from when you first use it, but I'm going to add just a tiny bit, and then I'm going to blend the upper colors all together. I'm not bringing it all the way in, just the outer colors like this. Circular motion all the way in. I'm going to take the second brush that I use for that orangey look. I'm not going to add any additional color to it. It should still have some remaining makeup eyeshadow in there. And I'm just going to go in the middle and blend that browns and this orangey all together so that it looks clean and no harsh um, lines within the eyeshadow. So it brings all the colors in together, and it doesn't look like brown, orange, brown. It just looks like it's blending all together, nice and together. And that basically it. All that I have to do now is my eyeliner. I think the eyeliner brings it out even more, adding that black eyeliner. Then I'll add some black or brown eyeliner underneath. I think this time I'm going to do brown. Last time I did this makeup look, I did black, but I think I'm going to try brown now. Then I'll put some eyeshadow underneath as well to bring in, like, connect the colors. And obviously I still have to do the remaining of my cara, but I can take at least the tape off for right now. And as you can see, we have some sharp lines. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, but then you can take a wipey and just clean off any excess fallout. I don't know if you watched my first makeup video, but I mentioned to you guys that I personally like doing my foundation at the end. I know that many girls and guys do their makeup, they like their foundation first and then they'll move on to the eyeshadow. I just, I'm not an expert, so I feel that it just throws me off having any fallout, and I don't want to do double the work. So I rather do my foundation and the rest of my face towards the end. So yeah, so now we'll move on to la cara. Face, priming your face again helps, just like the eyeshadow, keep your makeup in place. So it's not necessary, but it helps. And I moisturize my face. I forgot to do that on camera, but I use my moisturizer, and then I'll use some sunscreen. The sunscreen that I'm using right now is the Glow Recipe. I've mentioned this brand before. Glow Recipe has some great products, and that's the moisturizer that I use. But I also am adding now the sunscreen. So it looks like this. Then once I add my sunscreen, you can allow it to set in and dry, and you can go in with your actual primer that you're using. Now we can prime our face. For primer, I'm using the FX Pro Camera Ready by Pharmacy. I recently showed this in my favorites video. I really enjoyed this one. It's a camera ready primer strobe cream for all types of skin, and it's illuminating primer, which means that it has some shimmer, but not ridiculous shimmer to the point where you look like a unicorn, as I mentioned. And I like using this one for night looks. So I'm going to take some of the primer and add especially to the areas where I want that glow. For foundation, I'm using my favorite Night Out foundation, which is a Good Apple medium 033. That's my color, and it's KBD. This is what it looks like. I love it. I'm obsessed. And I just take my finger, and obviously my fingers are clean. I just clean them, and I'll just add the foundation. I'll take either my beauty blender or beauty sponge or one of my foundation brushes and just blend all that in. So I'll do that off camera and we'll be back. I'm going to take my concealer and add some to, obviously, my under eye. And I'm sad because I usually like to apply also some of my Milani concealer. I can't remember the name, but I showed it in one of my videos before, and I can't find it. And it's hard to find it at the store. I lost it, and now I need to find it again at the store. So anyways, I'll add some of that here. Let that allow it to sit on your skin for a little bit. You don't want to go ahead and right away start blending it. I let it sit for a little bit, And right now I kind of look crazy because the eyeshadow is very like out there because my eyebrows are not done. Obviously, we still haven't done the eyeliner or the lashes. I don't know, that's another thing. I always leave that towards the end. I don't know. I just like to put my eyelashes towards the end of my makeup look. I think it brings it all together, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready now. So I'll take my beauty sponge and just blend my concealer, and you always want to bring that concealer up, 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 because if you start bringing it down, it's not going to look cute, trust me. uh, just bring it up, blend it, blend it, blend it, and I also bring it in towards my nose if you want to contour your nose. And yeah, so you can see the difference, and it's going to come all together once I add my bronzer and the rest of my makeup, which is the blush, setting powder, and now we're gonna move on to my cejas. For my cejas, I'll be using the Wet n Wild dark brown. I don't know what it is, but it's for your eyebrows. Also, brow kit. That's what I'll be using. It looks like this. And this is my favorite. By far, favorite eyebrow product. It's only like $3. And then I'll use some of this also. It's by NYX. It's the Professional Makeup Brow Tint Pen. And what I use this one for is for the little hairs here to make it look more real. And then the rest I use it for this. So I'll go in first with this, and I'll speed it up so that you guys don't have to watch every little stroke that I do to do my eyebrows. What I'll do is I'm going to add some black eyeliner. I usually like to use my NYX eyeliner, but I ran out of that and I haven't had time to go to the store for that. So I'll be using my second favorite one, which is, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I butcher it, but it's Lamege, which is eyeliner, ink liner, the color black. And this is what it looks like. So I'll start from the outer edge, make a linea. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk and do it at the same time. So once I do that linea, I connect it, bring it down, and connect it down. And then just like coloring, you color in the inside. And then you start bringing the linea from the inner corner to the outer corner and connect it. So the linea is done. So I'm gonna take that flat brush that I use for this brown, the darkest color, and I'm going to just pat in some of that remaining color into that black eyeshadow. So I'm not adding any additional product to my brush, is whatever I had left over. Now, I'm going to take my brown eyeliner, and I believe I mentioned this eyeliner before as well. If I didn't, well, here it is. It's my favorite brown eyeliner. It's the Morphe Trendsetter pencil, and is brown, and I think it's the perfect brown. I need to sharpen it, but it's just so creamy and the color is beautiful. What I'll do is I'll do my waterline. That's the brown. You can go in with a black if you want to, or even both colors. What I mean by both colors is take the black and just do the outer. So leave, don't come all the way towards the middle. Just do the outer corner to connect that linea. The, bring them in together. But again, you can do either or. It's a matter of how much you want that your eyes to stand out. So I think this is good enough. Now what I'll do, since I still need to put some eyeshadow underneath to bring um, the colors into the bottom and make it stand out even more, I'm going to put some setting powder underneath my eye. This helps out with any excess fallout, which is what I'm scared of. But you just take your translucent powder and your sponge or your brush, whatever you're using. I'm just gonna put it underneath my eye. You guys hear my tripas? They're making noise right now. Tengo hambre. I'm hungry. Seriously, they're so loud. Anyways, we're going to take let's see, what brush do I want to use? You could either, if you're a beginner and you're trying to do eyeshadow underneath, careful, you don't want to look like a mapache. I said it before, but you want to use a brush that's like this to help you be more precise. But in my case, I'm using this brush, which I don't know what kind of brush it is, but you see how tiny the bristles are? That's what you want. I'm going to take first some of the orangey color with this together, and then we're going to start just back and forth to the bottom of our eye. This is going to help us connect this color with the bottom. Just you don't want to go all the way down, because then that's when we start looking like a mapache. That's all you do. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then bring that together. And then we're going to take the darker colors. So I'll take this one and this brown. And for that, I want to be more precise. So I'm going to start adding that color. Again, just be careful. And I feel like that just brings the eyeshadow look all together. And it also makes your eye stand out more. And that's it. Now what we do is we take any that excess powder. If I can find my brush somewhere in here, but I'll remove this. And then what we have remaining to do is basically my bronzer and blush, and then the eyelashes and lipstick, and we're all done. So let me get all that done. Basically my face is done. What's left to do is you can put setting powder as well. I already did the under my eyes. If you want to do like a more sharp or contouring, you can do the bottom. So what you do is you take your setting powder or your translucent powder, take obviously your sponge or your brush. Usually the sponge works best, and you bring this up to where you want to have that. You let that set, and then you remove it. You wipe it off with one of your brushes. Right now I cannot find my other brush, so I'm just going to use, let's see, what brush do I have here? I'll use a brush basically now when I find it, and wipe that off. Then I'll use my handy dandy airbrush flawless setting spray, which looks like this. I really like it. I spray it, and this is like the glue to your makeup. It's gonna be like, and your makeup should not be going anywhere, girlfriend. Then the final thing for the look is the eyelashes. Like I said, that's something that I usually do at the end. I don't know why, but it just tells me I'm done. And I'll follow by, well, I'll do my lips first. I'm going to be using this color by L'Oreal, and it's the color 173. So I'll outline my lips with some type of lip liner. Probably I'll go with any of the ColourPop ones, the lippy pencils. I have the shade Curvy. I believe that's what it says. I can't really tell. And then this one is Little One. So based on what I'm wearing, let's see, which one? We'll go with this one, and then we'll add the 173 on top of that. Ta-da! This is the final look. Off camera, I did my eyelashes. I used the Ardell Wispy eyelashes, which are my favorite to-go eyelashes, and they're very easy to put on. And this is the final look. This is what it looks like. I'll get in closer so that you guys can see. I really hope that you enjoyed this makeup look as much as I did. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is my first time putting all these colors together, and I really like how it all came out. So if you recreate this makeup look or got inspired by these colors, make sure you tag me in your pictures or share them with me. I really like to see what you guys are doing and connect with anybody that is watching my video, if there's anyone out there watching my video. But let me know if you want to see more videos like this one. I really enjoy makeup, as you guys know. I just haven't posted many makeup looks, but I'm more than happy to record those for you guys. But once again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so that you're notified when my next video will be up. Till next time, bye!